August is my first love. He's my firstborn child. He's 10 years. Up until Dikoledi Bulwa this year, January, he came home with Tlogoirurugile Fayana. Beke magrugule ntisha go shapile. E matisha ona re shapa.
O ba bitsa ka eng mo tlhogong?
O ba betsa ka thupa. Thobanyana yele kana but a thick one. Mo texting on our way back. Ke mona ontsara. Ke mara what's wrong? We don't sit still one disturb. He tries and suppress it. I can't control this. What? Friday, Saturday, Sunday. This is getting worse now. Now, what like the vocal tics? The vocal tics.
Okay.
It was worse. Like I saw the plate down. He couldn't even hold the plate still. It was really bad. Emma.
In our latest GaonaLive conversation, a mother shares a story, one that begins with a single incident, her son being hit on the head by a teacher at school. Soon after, he starts developing physical and verbal tics. Doctors say it's coincidence. She calls it injustice. Now, in this episode, Sindy shares her journey from classrooms to the police to government offices, asking hard questions and demanding accountability. This is a story about love, resilience, and a fight no parent should have to face alone. Now, before we get into today's episode, I want to take a moment to give a heartfelt thank you to our amazing set sponsors, Tebimo's Decor, Southern Africa's premier event specialist known for transforming visions into reality with their breathtaking decor. From weddings to corporate events and beyond, they create unforgettable experiences that leave a lasting impression. So if you're looking to elevate your next event or simply want to indulge in some stunning decor inspiration, make sure to follow them on their social media pages. Now, thank you for helping us create such a beautiful space for our conversations.
Hi, Sindy. Thank you very much for taking time out today to have this conversation with us. Thank you for reaching out. You would like to create awareness about, something that has transpired in your life that has happened to your son, August. Of course, stories we've seen on social media, and I'm really looking forward to unpacking it a bit more and to really just get inside of you a little bit deeper to just figure out how you're doing. I'll allow you to share it, but your story is a story of a young boy, who was a happy, bouncing boy, had an incident at school, and now things have changed. He's having tics, but and what is the diagnosis that you've gotten from the hospital so far? So, hi.
Hi, Gaone.
Emma.
Thank you so much for having me.
Emma, let's just start with a little bit, about yourself, a little bit about him, of course, because what kind of child was he? Just take us back to, is he your first child?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so take us back to, as far back as you can go.
Yeah. August is my first love. He's my firstborn child. He's 10 years. Primary. He's just been a very jolly and very active. He plays soccer, he plays karate. Yeah, and up until just Dikoledi Bulwa this year, January, on the 16th of January, he came home with Tlogoirurugile Fayana. The first thing he asked, what happened? Because he's a boy child. No, something happened. Your friends cannot teach you school. o ne a le shapela eng ne go te re kwalle mmetse mo di-weekend tsa rona tse go ga sena 3 because ne ba sa ise ba fiwe stationary yaanong nna ya me and the other 2 kids ne di tletse e be go te rona ba tsana di tletse re kwalle mo go ya tsa science ga re fetsa ba science ba re ba beele ka fa and then the rest ba beeletsa mmetse to the other side go raya gore the message didn't get to all the children clearly gore bangwe ba sentle tsa mmetse ka fa ba bangwe ba tlhatlhaganya tsa ba letsa science teacher ga tswa kwa ba tsaya tse di ka fa tsena and then a ba tsenela ba shapa yalo mo ditlhogong emma
ba botlhe ba ileng gore ne ba sa follow instruction a gago, of course, according to her.
Yes, ma emma
Okay, o ba bitsa ka eng mo tlhogong?
O ba bitsa ka thupa are she had a thobanyana yele kana but a thick one emma.
Okay, so now how do you react to that point when he tells you this has happened?
I'm just shocked. How does teacher go betsa bana ya mo ditlhogong? But I just let it slide. I will go to school ke a go molela gore mma wa me ngwana ga bidi mo tlhogong because o gola ka problem ya tlhogo ya opanyene. But then a day later there was a sponsored work ko sekolong sa gore sekolo sa bonne se number 2 in the region. So they had a sponsored work. I attended the sponsored work ko sekolong, but I'm already shopping with them, him and his siblings. Mo texting on our way back, what's wrong? We don't sit still, one disturb. He tries and suppress it. I can't control this. What?
So he's able to connect. Yes. This is something that he says.
Yes, because even on Friday, high school, o siame fela ke a ba bakanya phakela ke a ba tlapisa ke a ba bakanya bona a siame fela ga tla go tla after school o tla a ira gone yalo and then ke mo lebelela Friday, Saturday, Sunday ke a bona this is getting worse now go tla di vocal tics ke mo
Okay, let's just take it back a little bit to as he does this, do you have the background ya go tlhaloganya gore this is a tic? This is what are you thinking?
I'm just wondering I'm just clueless. Because na kwa tibile ne ke sena le smartphone. Ke tla ke bolella papa ga gatla and then we checked mo phone. We just had to Google what could these movements mean.
Yeah. Okay.
Saturday, Sunday we took him to the local clinic. Nesena ene na rona bona eng. Ke lebetse rona ro go bitsa eng ene but abare re tle on Monday a tle go bona ngaka. Monday we went back ngaka le na ga itse sepe and then she called ko spatela ko BLH a letsa pediatrician gore a ga ka mmona ba re nyamme first day ene o go le Monday a tle ke tle go mmona emma.
Okay.
That's when they diagnosed him with provisional tic disorder. Emma.
Okay. So now he does this kind of the first incident that you noticed
Emma.
And then it disappears for a while. I'm just curious at that stage even. Let's not talk about now yet, right? At that stage, frequently incident and then vocal tics like you say.
It was worse. And I would like the vocal tics. This is serious. Asa khone go nna still at all. Gore ke tle ke disturbe thata nele gore maitsibo a gareja. Like he couldn't even hold the plate still. It was really bad. Simola ke tsaya dijo ke mo jisa ke ipotsa gore tota ga tlo ke na re wa re go le nne ra o ka stu sira se o bone go mona o sena go shapiwa emma te ga re wa no metsi. He even has a chip tooth gona na ile gore go pala tota.
And are you telling me that before this you had never observed any kind of similar I don't want to call it behavior. I'm trying to find the right word, but or anything similar before that incident? una e tla nne le gone ka ntirela le monyenyana kgona go ira yana e be re gona go didimala yaanong suddenly it's back. This is something that he had never experienced before.
We've tried to recall papa gore tota mme gone di dalo wena o shwa go iso bone sepe. We even went back to teacher wa go school. Like our kids spend a lot of time go school.
Yeah.
Wa ona moruta go sna to it's the same teacher. Mama le fa gore show le wena o iso bone motho a ira sepe sa bona. No. Nothing. Nothing at all.
How do vocal tics, what does that look like? Because I think I don't want us to assume that but are familiar with you. Of course, you explained tic and then of course he got diagnosed. But what is a vocal tic?
A vocal tic, it's a sound. He keeps making the sounds when he jerks like that. He some funny voices that he can't control.
Okay, now at what point do you go back to the school? Because kana nung ha le tabogile le diagnosis le bona pediatrician jalo skolo le go sone leng ba reng go skolo.
But through all this go skolo every time ha ke mo isa sepatela ke re ke mo isa ona Sunday la ntla no go se skolo. Monday ke tswa go buka line go clinic and I went to school ke ga bola teacher we just won't be in go skolong re go clinic ga tsoga after you beat him on the head. But they were busy go le go di bulwanga ke ba busy mo di corridor le bo mo go they just dismissed me because let me just let it go le nna ka gore ke ba busy le nna I'm busy with ngwana ke mo ise clinicing ke tla ba ke ba boela re iketlile. We go and see the 29 ntse ga bona pediatrician ka di 30 January the 29 ga atla gape o tla ile it's 10 times worse. Mama kana teacher o nchapile gape what go shapela eng gape August are ke lo fa skolo ga ke tla ke kwale mmetse o no kwala go biditse fokai mo tlhogong gape gone hala fo ya be ke emela ke mo tlogela le bo monna ke boela go skolong ke fitletse mo go kgwele gore the rest of it was around 3 le gore go ra gore ba ba chaisitse e be ke molla mo go then she took it light hello ntshitsela mo corridor gore mme anong ke aka bona gore batho ga ba go se go chaisitswe come tomorrow a raya la bone go ngwana yang go bona pediatrician ka ene ke magre no ka mosongwana go bona pediatrician if re fetsa kana go will come if we don't make it on time we'll come on Friday. Ga ke emela go tota I was ne ke utlwe botlhoko ke feel like mo go ga serious. I went straight go police ke re ke go report an assault case because this is assault now.
Of course.
The first lantla mama shapane intsala assault but ne ka ke dismiss because do tsi ira gala go motishana the jumpila ba shapa asa ikela but now the second time gape ke ntse ke go bola ngwana ga tsoga ha ke tsana go police le bone ba fitile ba ntatlhella the officer in charge of Tilantari the case students we usually advise ba to gore be go report matishara go education. I specifically asked him gore sure rights gore kana I'm reporting an assault case ka ba ka mo faska ke mara ke gore ga mo seta go next door ka tla fa gore re ke shapile ngwana ga go wa go musa go ga gore tsamang le go bua kana gore tsamo mo report go se mama. This is an assault case of a minor. Arinya ga ke go gane ke ga advice because I was hurting be ke tswahela mo kone ke renya it's fine be ke ya ko regioning go wait go in education le bona ga tsena go ofte le ban thabare le rena advice gore o boele go mo go kgwa ka mo kgwarile o tle le go bua ke magre ke tswa go mo go ntswetse mo corridor I'm not happy. Let me call them o balatela ka moso go ba utlwa and then we went to see the pediatrician on Thursday. We went there re fetsa re fitletse ba seo
but le go
skolong emma motho sa mo go ke na ba letsa on Friday a rena kana ke ntse ke seo but ke teng gompino please just come on Friday we went there le rangwana go ene ngwana August ba pa rona theoretse we met with them ka ba bolela kgang ba teacher kana ke yona seo ke be ke bala ke I hope and pray gore le skala bitse teacher la bua le nne ke seo because I need to hear first hand gore a reng ene ke mo ikutlwe gore a re go iregetseng. Unfortunately ba mmitsa re se go ba nna mo le ene se ba kala se stelle ga ra go tsena go teacher a ba re go bua mo go contact teacher kana ke yo mma go August a rena ga betsa ngwana so re advise gore go tsamaye kana go yo the pediatrician o rile ngwana o sentse gore a dire an MRI to go and check gore what could have happened, go iragala eng. Mme ebile a re e irwa ko Marina fela, ko Marina ga e bereke. My other option ke gore ke go ira ko privateng. Ko privateng it's around 7 grand.
Yeah, it is
Ga ke na le
expensive.
halene 1 pula nna. So ke a mmolelela me gore kana mme gate ngwana o ne go ira MRI e irwa ko privateng ke bokana. Nya kana re rile o boela peng ka ngwana o name o mo thusa rena re ira di-investigation re tla boela ko re tla go bolela gore conclusion ya rona ke eng. Re ngwana ga ba mmotsa gore le itirela investigation lona. La re ma go ngwana a boya ka ngwana ga gona go pofeletsanang teng. No, there's nothing we can promise here. Gape ga gona molao o re tlamang gore re ka mo thusa go duela ngwana gore a dire an MRI. And then we left it at that. Ba ke boela ko education ke go ba fa feedback. Ga ke tsena ko le bona ke ba maketse gore they can't tell you gore ba itirela investigation yang ko gore. And then I went back to police station gape Saturday wa teng. I asked to see the station commander, but no go tegayo. Go ne go na le some bangwe ba golwane mo mapodising ya ko tlase be ba ntha ba re ke ba bolelela kgang ya me. They were surprised le bone gore ke busitswe ko ke ka kganyentseng yalo emma. So be ba they managed to open a case, but that statement sa ka ba bula case and gore ba handed to the child protection officer ka re ke ngwana emma. Unfortunately le ene o na sa bone ka fogileng go ga ke itse gore ke reng bokete ba kganya ngwana o. She just took it lightly la bantare re tla ba letse ko sekolong ga ke sa letse, they don't call. After a week ke molletsa ke mmotsa gore le foka jaanong le dirile jang. Nya ba education ba re le rene pele ba santse ba ira investigation tsa bone, they will let us know ga ba feditse and then re tla investigation tsa rona emma.
So at this point, the teachers denied go bitsa ngwana gotlhelele ka ntare la ntlha ke mmeditse la bobedi ga ke ametse ke ra gore a reng teacher
gotlhe go tla rena ga ise a ba bitse ngwana ga ope
gotlhelele
emma. And se se tsa motlhoko gore la ntlha na betsa most of the kids mo tlaseng emma ko gore mo ileng gore bosupuela bo teng bo go
ne ke re
tshelang.
ke a botsa gore has that come out though gore kana la ntlha o biditse bana ba ba le bantsi mo tlaseng ke ra gore is that something that so far has come out gore kana mme or se teng ke ra gore is there anybody who has raised their hand or any child that has raised their hand to say kana mme la ntlha teacher o re biditse
Ebile before August ga re le ko tleliniking re ile ke mo istela ntlha a ile go bona ngaka on Monday. I met with another parent ko teng ko tleliniking ke ena nthanga re mma ga se tlhama ya mafa kana nna mma re fa ga tsoga teacher o letsa ba shapa gore ena o letsa tle ko lapeng tlhogo e rurugile. That was before nine ke ya go report ke maka kana mme ya ka mpa le mo tleliniking yana ke fa ka August le ene o tle ka tlhogo e rurugile. And she had the guts tsa go itatola gore ena ga a betsa bana. But morago ra gore le ga ba education ba sana ba dira dipatlisiso tsa bone ba ne ba feletsa ba itse gone gore o shapile bana wa itatola hela batho o shapile bana. Bana ba go budiwa ko sekolong a kere emma.
So meanwhile, Augustino guy, as all of these investigations are happening, you're doing the back and forth, trying to get justice.
He's home, he's in and out of the hospital, he's at some point there's one lady in a rakisana ke post mo Facebook nga ba re itholela mo Facebook from reading the story. Aba anna re nyamuise ko I'll buy him this, I'll buy him that. At some point when I felt ebile he was taking the whole day. I feel as I dehydrated. It was really bad. Aba re nyamuise GPH, I'll pay for him. Artena ko GPH ba letsa ko Marina. Marina has Pete's ward ko Sekitumile. When I admitted go for a week. It was really, really, really bad. Non-stop. Imagine for example, jogging the whole day.
That's it. That's
fatigue
it.
ya
Yeah.
teng emma
Yeah.
le go ja saji ile mathata
Ka gore
fela
kana ga a tshwanetse go ja in his taking, ga a tshwanetse go nwa metsi in his taking.
emma he
Gore
just
it
can't
disrupts
stop
his life. Yeah.
emma and tibile rona ka rona re se seritsi gore the more we talk about it go mo trigger go mo tsenya stress go mo gakaletsa
Talking about it around
in his
him.
presence emma go agakatsa he at some point o nampolela gore mama I don't want to hear lefoko di tiki. I don't want you ga ke batlo go bua le batho ka go monna ke le taki ga ke batle at some point really ke ile go tsa report dago because le ko molepolo ke la molepolo go bona neurologist ko I've been everywhere ke ile go bona neurologist ko a ba nteletsa ka phone ya ga nkokwagwe gora gore that day ne di le bedi tota antarama o tlaleng I could hear even from the phone gore it's really bad o tlaleng na I'm tired. When is God taking me? When is God coming to take me? Ke nna and why are you talking like that? A go isa kae abanta re go go ene ke no you're not going to God ga o ye go modimo ke etla ko ne ke le mo tseleng ke tswa mo lepolole ke lo ntse tle la gore the following day ba a admit it was really bad me ke ntse ke ba break ba school ba education yalo and everybody mo molaodi mo mabuipelego all relevant authorities because ne re ga ke a kopa thuso ko e go feta go tenya mme ga go kwatla go gona sa go bo se mamang tsana ka bo se mamang ampela ke a go bo se mama I literally did so se ne go ke se dire ne ke se dira ke be ke feletsa ke tla go kwale makwalo ya no ke bona gore kana kantele tle be nna ga ke go itse nna ga ke go itse ke kwale makwalo with the advice ya the NME o nna re tella mo Facebook
gore go nne le paper trail
because bo ombudsman I engaged them bo childline yo everybody gore ke feletse ke kwala lokwalo to the office of the president go bofelong yana ine ile gore ke kwaletse go bo headquarters ya police ke a tswa go gore kana ke isa le ke reporta case ya ngwana ko ramso police ga ke ba utlwe ga gona se se tsamaya gona se se tlhafetseng
Sure. So far as they continue to, investigate what, the disorder, of course, that has been diagnosed with, bare go na le link between go betswa ga moago biditsweng le the condition, because I've seen kerare, through your post gore o kare they are denying that there could be a link. You know what I mean? So I just want you to expand a little bit on that.
The thing is it's not the cause. The tics were not caused by the beating, but it was definitely triggered by the beating. Even from research, if pediatricians, your pediatric neurologists, they know that. Even in his case, in August's case, they're definitely triggered by Hoshapiwa. But when they are trying to ba fitlheganya teng ya gore ngwana o bolwetse bo triggerilwe ke
ba re go diragetseng bona go ka bona.
That's the thing, they don't want to explain gore go diragetseng go ya ka bona ba re gona gore ngwana o ne the pediatrician are gore it's just the coincidental
gore it happened at a time as
that's really weird because ke amora gape ke maka kana mme ya no they got 100 times worse as na shapela bobedi.
Exactly.
Are you still saying it's a coincidence?
What kind of coincidence is that?
But the psychologist gore ene mme wa teng o ke reng ona nna a mo duelela ona a feletsa mo duelela di session go bona a private psychologist emma ene nya ona supela sentle gore you don't need to ask. This was definitely triggered by the beating. The psychologist ona mona gara admitilo ko marina ona bua gore this is a neurodevelopmental disorder. It was triggered by go shapiwa ga ngwana emma.
Okay, so ha ba go tlhalosetsa, I also don't want to bombard you with these medical questions because I also understand gore kana ga se go runga ka wena me. I have a feeling these are things that you have asked yourself, right? Bare this tic condition e khona gore motho hela ntsa gola e be e developa hela e itlela hela ke so se leng gore a motho, is it genetic? Is it something that just develops randomly? You know what I mean? Because if it's a coincidence, according to them, gore around the same time, but it could have still just randomly developed. That's
the funny thing. That's
Is
the
that what
funny
they're
thing.
saying?
That's the funny part now. It's either it's genetic, kana it like develop hela ngwana ntse a gola. But looking at our nobody has ever had that. So gora gore it le ngwana ntse le yone, but really underlying imma.
Until in this particular case, like your theory, your hypothesis, it was triggered by the beating.
Yes, ma.
Okay. And I don't want to perpetuate seemo sa gago. You're a parent who's grieving, ngwana gago o hetogile from the boy that he was, and I completely understand that you're trying to find answers, and I'm not really just trying to let's point fingers, but the way it is, it honestly does look like there's something triggered. But anyways, I want us to talk about, as he continues to encounter this. One of the things hey, I don't want you to talk about it. It's like stress, and then as he does this, is it painful, or it's just that because as it jerks, like you're saying, I just want to know the experience from, his perspective. How does he feel?
It frustrates him. Stress, but it's not painful. It only gets painful. At times the tics are very violent. Like of recent, we develop tic ya bits and lebotana. I feel like lebotana. So whatever we are dealing with, when a bottle go pang, when lapa, like literally every day now, I have to hold him down.
So he takes even as he's sleeping. But in deep sleep.
Deep sleep. But the moment he takes.
Oh, batong.
It's really bad.
How would you say this has affected, not just him and his quality of life, but the family holistically? Because I can imagine from a boy who went to school all excited, to his life changing drastically, because this is drastic.
It's just been very, very traumatic. And given everything, it's been all around trauma. Financially, emotionally, it has been bad. Because papa again I bereka ngale nosi ra gore financial madi o tla fela mo ditseleng go dipateleng ha se change rata ba gore Mrs. Patela ha se change rata ba gore ba tla sena. So it has taken a toll on us. Go lapeng ga go monate like before.
What does he say? Of course, he's frustrated. You mentioned he's frustrated. Where, like, how is he feeling about currently?
Of all things, frustrated was in school. His little sister was at the same school. So the little sister school. No, Nana, but you can't go back to the normal class. You can't go back to the same school.
I'm curious though, why isn't he going to school? The obvious answer would be because he's taking. Is that the reason? From you,
high school because Ministry of Education failed us. Ministry of Education failed him. They know in cases like this, an assessment thing, educational assessment, the psychological assessment, a teacher aid because he can't even write. He can't even write. Like imagine and then literally but he's sane, he's fine, he's a very, very bright boy. Emma. By Friday,
Or tswa mo go ene.
or tswa mo go eneo ba ke ba kgobela tota gore no guys kana ne ke tlile ka re tla re second term le batletse ngwana a sa sa ra ngwana a wetse class because kana ngwana ga se gore ga botlhale o siame and go nna ga go mo gaelang gone go gakatsa bolwetse ba gagwe. Kindly get him back to school please. On Monday no they cancelled. Tuesday they le papa they cancelled they babuile ba sa ba thusa. When you got home he was bad. I even took a video of him ke send la teng go Ministry of Education ko region gore kana this is what I deal with. Le re ngwana tla ya boa le sa mo thusa. This is what I deal with now. Khale mo frustrated, the more you frustrate him bolwetse bo a gakala. Wednesday they said we should come on Wednesday. They didn't call. Nyatsoga kamoso ga ba khona, they don't call, and se tsang botlhoko. Nobody wants to revert back. Nna ke nna ke letsa gore ka le tla re letsa ga le letse jaanong until on Friday ke magro ka tlhapara tsama ke emelela ka wena ke go lama gore ga ke bue go sekolong ga se go dira assessment. But on our way re ya teng go sekolong ona letsa me go gare ke gona re kgona gore re puta sengwe se re se tlhokang. So ga letla ka Monday ke re no, I'm not coming on Monday, we are coming now. We are doing this thing gompieno because kana ngwana no ga re ntse re mmusa ga ntsintsiana go mo ga gakala. But we did manage to gore ba mo assess.
And how did that go?
It went well except for gone hela go kwala. He's a perfect boy. Ba ne ba mmalla bone di graph ya le ba mmotsa dipotso from Sindy ba se mmalla ba mo neela mmetse gore a le ke go araba batho e ta ara ga sa yalo. The challenge ana le yone ke gone go kwala ela go mpio.
Nare, is there any kind of treatment that he's undergoing? Because I'm sitting here wondering gore ra re ile hela yalo ga a kitla a khona go kwala kanto gona le se se ka dirwang to help manage the tics tsena gore di ska tsana as aggressive or as frequent.
The sad thing ga one ke gore mo Botswana they don't know what they're dealing with. They've never seen a case like this. That's the sad thing. Yeah, no. O ba le ka se khantla tla re le ke currently untsa le mo medication ba go te ke one risperidone. But only some very very bad side effects. You know o ile nga stanna outside. He is always feeling dizzy, tlhogo na yopa, o develop lesion tic ba tlang ke ra gore tlhoga yopa lo ha ke tsora ga ba re ba isidila a thuya le botana yalo. So I ended up mo emisa fela nna. But never really ba re because the last appointment ya psychiatrist na ile le rrago ba mora ba re ke tle go kopana le bone. They'll batla botsa the pediatric neurologist gore available le re kopane le bone re bona gore ga tire thusa ngwana yang. Imagine after a whole 4 months now. Which was the things so tlhan se ne ke se kopala ke ile go sekolong gore kana nna I'm not here to fight with anyone. Ke batla gore ngwana ke o rira yang ka ene le teng go spatela. They kept failing us ke gone mo bogompienong jaanong ba reng ke tle go kopana le bone ba bone gore ba we forward go ka ilwa jang. But ga ke a kgona be ke yone ka di back and forth tsa ko sekolong tsa assessment. So currently he's not on any medication. Ke le ka hela ka gone ka yone research because ke ne ka feletsa ke join some support groups tsa batsedi ba bana ba ba nang le this condition ko mafatsheng a mangwe.
Okay.
Your UK, your USA. Go nna le di meeting tsa bone yalo ke nna ke di joina ke bona gore bana ba bone le bone ba dilang ka le bone ka sone se mose.
Ka ha go ntseng ka teng Sindy, is it possible for this to be reversed? Is it possible for him to miraculously heal the same way he just coincidentally developed this? Is this something that can heal? Or once it started, now we're looking at perhaps a lifetime of him experiencing this? What is research saying? How to research ayalo kopana le?
From what I've learned mo batsading ba bang kono go di support group nko ke gore ba re bile tleng go le botoka e tsile ngwana le monyenyane. When they grow up they will outgrow it. Chances tsa gore a go outgrow it go godimo. But mo go kgona le gore go eme mo go kgona gore a go gola hela ka gona nne mogolo hela ntse go le teng.
So it's just a matter of just waiting and watching and trying to get him the best
with counseling
treatment over time.
and trying tota bontsi ba batsadi bone ba mo support group ntse ba la ka yone counseling
Gore ngwana a counseliwe.
like
Okay.
teach him how go tlhokana le bo behavioral therapist gore ga go ntsana o ira jang ga o utlwa ke toa tene ga go na le bo ditsala tsa gago ka re ga o itumele walk away, do this, don't do this, but of ke nna ke irang ke nna luckily ke motho o ke ratang go bala nna. I could say he's lucky to have me as his mother because ke rata go bala ke le research tse dintsi tota ke nna ke lebelela lena ke mmadisa bo di meditation yana ke mo ruta go meditate gore ga go tla go gaketse try and breathe, try this. Besides that,
Does August have siblings?
he has siblings. He has a younger sister, she's 8, and a little brother, he's 2 years.
What are they saying? What are they thinking? How has this been for them? Because kind of the fact of the matter is, ga le tshela le ngwana a ntse yalo, everyone, is affected. Everyone sees it. You know what I mean? So of course, get out into the perspective ya gagwe as mama, perspective ya papa. What are the siblings saying? What are they thinking? How are they feeling?
Ne go le mask gore bana ba botlhale wa itse o ka re ke itse ke ra ba adapta ka bona go ga ise ba golo la ntlha it was bad mo go bone le bone ba nna ba utlwe botlhoko ba botsa gore mama o ka se twa go siama leng o ka se turile nne mama o ka se twa go siama leng. But he also has a tic e ka re nyanga ga ba pile na nna a go ngapana so ga ba pile le bone they make fun of it.
Naturally ke bana kana
so it's ke
new normal.
New normal.
Yeah. But are you spiritual? Are you somebody who believes in God? Because I'm just curious, because normally when we, are met with challenges, you can't help but stop and say, "Ow, Jesu, ow, Mudimu waga, ow." So I'm just wondering from that perspective, is anything like that unfolding for you?
Yes, we are Christians. We're Christians. We pray about it. He's a prayerful boy himself. That times like when ke pediwa mo rokong ke sa lore sentla bele na ntusang thar mama tsoga rapele. Aba rapela ene self, no tics in this family, no bedrooms in this family. He prays. And I've asked God le nna ke mmoditse gore why what is this and why? And there's been a lot of pressure from batho le bone gore nya ke se ngone di kerekeng ring but modimo kana le ene wa raba kana go e beilweng ke ene. He does knows of Augustus situation wa se bona ga se gore ga se bone.
Absolutely.
Mo go nkete ke akanya gore because teacher Rona untsa ira bana ba for many years, bana ba ntsi she's been doing this for many years. Ebe ke tla gape ke re kana maybe God through this at me gore ke tle go nna nna o savang bana ba bang ba ne le gore go ngwana ba tla go ba diwa ke teacher ona.
Absolutely.
So we do pray about it, and yeah.
Hey, do you have any kind of course you mentioned the lady or in Maui Facebook, and she's been supporting, she's done quite a bit for you guys. I'm wondering, literally to the highest office in the land, we got different organizations. You're talking about your child line. Currently, do you have, I'm also wondering from a legal perspective, because I'm also just sensing that this is also a legal battle. Do you have support? Are you at it alone? Organization from that perspective,
Emma, from the get-go, from the noise, post that Facebook, Bonella did reach out, and they barefa a lawyer o ka re thusa with the cases. He's currently on the case wa re thusa ka yone. Emma.
So that has been helpful, at least somebody's validating your experience and saying,
doing
I can back you up.
Emma, I'm here, you can lean on me.
Absolutely.
Emma, Bonella is doing that.
So, this of course is not easy. I can imagine as a parent, the actual condition or disorder as it unfolds. You are carrying that, right? But there's also the psychological effect, on you as the support system. How are you doing? mommy. Especially considering that today is Mother's Day, you know, what a day to be having a conversation
yes,
such
like
as this.
this, Emma.
How are you?
Hey, I'm not okay. To be honest, I'm not. I cry myself to sleep literally every night. I'm literally up by 2 a.m. every single day, praying and hoping. I'm not okay at all. The psychologist ba Botswana ga ba bantsi, overwhelmed. It's not even possible to get counseling myself.
Eish.
So I'm just my support and counseling ke bone di support group tseno tse di ko mafatsheng tseo.
And you need, you know, trauma counseling yourself.
Yes,
because
definitely.
not only, you know, has that trauma happened to him, but like Gunobua earlier, this has been a trauma for all of you. You we are getting support groups. Are you trying to tell me currently, locally, how you a community of people who are going through similar experiences, you know, a similar condition, you know, hasn't anybody come up to say, especially because, like you're saying, you know, through social media, through social media. So beyond the, you know, the actual, you know, the technicalities of what happened, there is a case of a mother now who's or a family now that has a child with, you know, a condition that is really developing. Right? Community ya batho ba e leng gore are dealing with something similar.
Because it's a very rare disorder. It's a very rare disorder. But any support group of ha gona motsadi o pokileng a leka go itshwaraganya le nna gore kana mmele nna ngwana ke o na le seemo seo kana yang. So mo Botswana there's nothing.
I'm asking you this because I came across somebody who commented, and you know, I felt Ghana, the unfortunate thing is, you know, with a case such as yours, medumo e mentsi ke ra go na le mantswe a mantsi go na le ba eng gore ba file o kare wa iphetla go na le ba eng gore ba file o kare o matepe go na le ba eng gore ba file o kare, you know, they're empathetic and they are reaching, they're literally saying ma, I can only imagine. Go na le ba eng gore ba file o kare this is just we get corporal punishment. You know what I mean? So there's so many voices as I was also just doing my research. But I came across a post that really warmed my heart, and I'm just going to read this to you because there's a lot of noise. You may have missed this, right? This is somebody who says, "Dear my sister Sindy Lebalang, I know this journey is not what you expected. Your heart is heavy with questions, doubt, and pain. It is natural to want to find a reason to seek answers that feel fair and to wish things were different. But please know this, your child needs you now more than ever, not just as their protector, but as their greatest source of love, strength, and acceptance. A diagnosis is not the end of hope. It is the beginning of understanding. It is not a punishment, nor does it define a child's future. Many children with tic disorders go on to live happy, fulfilling lives with the right support and intervention. The most important thing right now is to focus on what can be done to help your child thrive. You are not alone. There are other parents who have walked this path and found light at the end of the tunnel. There are doctors, therapists, and teachers who can guide you. Most importantly, your child is still the same child you have loved from the very beginning, full of potential, joy, and dreams. Take it one step at a time. Acceptance is not surrender. It is empowerment. And with love and support, your child can grow beyond any challenge. You are stronger than you think, and your child is too. Keep moving forward, one day at a time, with hope and encouragement from Mrs. G. I don't know, listening to this or just, you know, hearing me read this out, I don't know whether you came across this comment. How does it make you feel?
That's very sweet, and it's something that it's something because but eventually necessary is not even helping. I need to now focus more on
which is what I've also picked up. But I think, be that as it may, we also need to acknowledge your grieving process. We also need to acknowledge you advocating for your child as a parent, right? Because you know, these two can happen simultaneously Do you know what I mean? As you also advocate, as you try to find answers with the right mindset. Wa hore gone mme also seamo ke se. Se tlhoka gore ke ira yang ka sone, wa tshwara.
Even if I'm to focus mo go tsogeng ga ngwana, ga ke nna fela ke I'm letting it slide. Am I being fa ke mo direla sentle ne ngwana?
That's it. Because there's the advocacy element. You know, one of the things that we need to know is gore we have to be our biggest advocates. Ha re ka ke ra rwala matsogo rotlhe mo tlhogong re inela, ha re ka ke ra re go tla teng, because a lot of things have gone unattended because ra go tla teng wa tshwara.
Just give up.
Yeah. So I know the biggest challenge for you and unkutlisa botlhoko because of that is now navigating that space. You know, the trauma and the torture of continuing to advocate and to push and to knock on doors while you're also in real time dealing with
experiencing it yes, every single day. Yes.
Yeah. Every single day.
I
get you, which is why I'm saying to you, how are you doing? You know what I mean? That's why you know, how are you doing? You know, how we get back inside of yourself. How are you?
Okay, you know I mean? Let me just and not do follow-ups. I'm not gonna do follow-ups. Something else inside of me. Am I doing right by this child? Am I doing right by this child? Is it right? I'm focusing on my healing and his healing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What would you like to see happening? You know, right now, for you to say either justice has been served or, you know, this situation has been handled the way I ideally would like to see it being handled, Cindy. You know what I mean? A future for all parties, right? Because of course there's situation ako skolong, do you know what I mean? So
hey, first thing first, ke gone go bona environment go skolong e changeile. Bana they are going through a lot of abuse from batho ba ba kibeng ba sireletsa go feta rona, because kana go e tshela ke ene mosadi wa ngwana. Se mosadi go se dikolong se changeile. Nna ga re bana ba ska ba khalemela CSG.
Yeah.
But gore ba tikitwa yana, it's so wrong in so many levels. Se sengwe ke gone gore the whole country is dealing with GBV, and then you get a child that on 2 occasions, and then literally they're not doing enough. So le bone hela the your Minister of Education because it's just horrible.
Yeah, and I'm sitting here now wondering, and as much as you're saying you haven't come across similar cases, I get and naturally, you know, I remember even when I got diagnosed with endometriosis many years ago, for years, I honestly just thought I was the only person dealing with this. I didn't know that other people had the same condition, and it took activism and, you know, noise on social media for me to now start finding my tribe, right?
Yes.
To start finding batho ba bare diagnose you you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I want you to talk to other parents, right? Could perhaps be dealing with similar, or could be dealing with, you know, the condition it's now is faced with the fact that this is our new normal, at least for now. This is my new normal. You're such a strong woman, and I don't enjoy calling you strong because I know strong. Do you get what I'm saying? I don't find pleasure in calling you that, but I commend you. You are courageous. I commend you for having that voice, you know, for, you know, pushing boundaries and knocking on doors and even choosing to be on our platform today to have this conversation. So with that courage and that strength and that leadership, what would you say to other parents who are crumbling, isolated in their little corners? Hey, he's working. I'm the only person going through this.
What I can say is they're not alone. We especially us as parents, we are all dealing with something.
Yeah.
And we are not alone, they're not alone. That if baska ba hesitated to reach out to other parents.
Yeah.
Like anybody can reach out to me. Ga ile gore mongwe o kile a ela tlhoko le ene gore ngwana go some odd behavior, because mo gongwe ga te go sengogela a go ira boitharo a ba tshameka ka nte ke gona ka go le teng. Reach out, do some research, and let's stand up for our babies.
Absolutely. And from perspective, yeah, any kind of injustice, because, you know, that's something else that we experience. And like you say, and yeah, even on social media, I've seen that, right? Against. You know, what is your word to people who have mukaloba? Right? You know, a whole Goliath, I'm going to crush you, right? You know, what advice would you like to give to those ones, Atar, as far as advocating for yourself is concerned? You don't even know what because you are literally just taking every day as it comes.
But tota kanya gore ibe re bana ba shapiwe ke yone ntshonyang eo because go mafatsheng a mangwe bana ga ba bidiwe at all, but ba gola hela ba siamela sentle. So kanya gore re bana ba shapiwe ka gore re gole re shapiwa. It wasn't fine. It wasn't okay. There are a lot of as adults childhood trauma from as a nation, as a people, we can do better. We can come up with solutions, because but it has to start with me as Auguste's mom.
Yeah.
Discipline Auguste from being. I cannot expect teacher Auguste or discipline Auguste. Bahe bana batla ke ditebe go sekolong ba tshwenya matšhara bana batla ka majelo go dikolong o botsa go kae o botsa ke le go kae nna. As parents, let's step in before re matšhara ba re godisitse bana ba re thusitse bana. Let's do our part go lapeng, because mo bogompienong yana re bana ba rona ke bana ba di-gadgets, re ba netse di-gadgets ga ba se mo di-gadgeteng ba ko matšhareng. We need to step up as parents, because bana ba ke ba rona at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
Play
your role. What a woman. What a woman. My sister, thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you so much for having me.
Like I already mentioned, you know, I admire your courage, and, you know, I just want to say, you know, that spirit, you know, keep having that spirit, keep, you know, advocating for your child, you know, give him as much as you can as a parent, because GaonaLive, we need to pour into you. And I hope also perhaps through this platform that you're also able to get some kind of assistance. Ke batla gore ke itebaganye le mme motsadi, you know, mme motsadi o lebagane le ngwana, nna ke batla go lebagana le mme motsadi ke bona gore nka mo thusa ka tse dintseng jang gore le wena, as you continue to pour into him, as you continue to pour into the family.
I'm not pouring from empty.
From an empty. Absolutely. Today is Mother's Day. Of course, this is going to air, you know, a little late. Well, you know, a couple of days from now. But I just want your message to mothers. Let's just talk about motherhood now. You know, what a role. Manual, you know what I mean? You know,
you are a mother, you are a doctor, you are a coach, you are literally everything. Nothing matches motherhood.
Absolutely.
Scientifically proven. Motherhood.
Yeah.
So let's keep at it, dear mothers, and really the bundle of joy.
Yeah, do the best that you can.
That we can,
Absolutely. Cindy, thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate, you know, you having taken time out to join us on this platform, and for trusting GaonaLive Conversations, for, you know, you know, to hold space for you to really speak your truth, because at the end of the day, you know, so thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you so much for having me. It was
and all
great
the best. You're welcome.
Emma.
All the best, you know, as you continue on your motherhood journey. All the best with August. Polo. with God, nothing is
Man,
ever,
impossible.
impossible. The chance is never zero with God. So like, ke eletsa gore le kgone go tswela le bona dithuso tse di tlhokagalang for him to have the best quality of life, a tswelele nne that bright star that you say he grew up being, and may he reach the highest levels, of success and joy, and whatever that looks like. Thank you so much again, my sister.
Emma, thank you so much.